Okay, welcome back everybody. We're going well, let's just sort out that speed. We're going into game number 2 of this best of 3 between Team Noszombie and Team flightlessbird in the AusDraft number 2. We're going into Golden Lakes, which is the home map of Team Nos. And speaking of the man, we've got Nos here in the flank as the Grey as Dravidians, facing off against Arthwolf as the Incas. So they got a rematch this time. Nos once again has Sneaky Salmon as his pocket, this time as the Marlians, and Arthur once again has Kados, but this time he has the Lithuanians. Interesting. I would have expected Flightless Bird, who's actually the Persians, to be the Lithuanians, because, in my opinion, Lithuanians have such a higher skill ceiling. You can... Oh, something's being attacked. Oh, scouts. Um, yeah, because like just the Lithuanian start is, it's kind of difficult to do, but it's so powerful. It gives you such a massive advantage compared to a normal Civ. So I would have expected the strongest player on the team to do it, but I guess Kados may have been practicing. He may know what he's doing. And then the final player, we see that Humble Pie has been replaced by Bastia Drain Gang here, playing as the Byzantines. And he's facing off against the Schnecki, coming in, playing as the Italians, with Trace as the Khmer Pocket. I'm really not a huge fan of Khmer on a water map like this, because you're not planning to make many farms at all in the first 30 minutes of this game. So the Khmer bonus is essentially you don't build barracks, and that's about it, which is not exactly significant. We see Noz here walling in his ville, getting ready to drop down a dock. He doesn't want to have his villager be sniped here, but he's a little bit short on the wood for the dock right here. Can Litho go straight to the wood since nothing? Yes, but you can't go as heavily to wood. You can send the first 2, maybe 3 vills, depending on how far away your dock and whatnot is. But you can't do like the old style where you'd send 5 to wood and then go to food sort of strats. Or like where they would just instantly go to build a dock, almost sometimes. What are you doing, Nos? These are some wacky walls that you're trying to get up there. Right, but now he's got it going. So we're going to have a contested pond on this side with grey versus orange. Over here, blue's walled his vill in. Red has 4 on wood. And he's building a mill. Oh, I do not like this at all. You're Byzantines, man. Kados lost a vill to a boar? Nico KD. Oh, that's rough. That really hurts the Lithuanians. Like, in theory, you should be 2 fish ahead of most civs. Maybe close to equal with Persians. But, he hasn't even built a fishing ship yet, and he's lost a vill. This is a little bit of a Titanic, unfortunately. The bigger Titanic though is Red going for a mill as Byzantines. Like Byzantines are one of the best civs for fighting for a contested pond. It's like if I was Red, my priority would be sending like 2 vills even, and trying to get a dock up here so that you can fight for this pond. Because the faster attacking fire galley is just absolutely cracked when it comes to winning a pond like this. Instead, what Noz's team has done is both of the pockets have come back here, docking the quote-unquote safe pond. And this might actually work out really well for Noz's team, because if Red doesn't like try to do a sneaky dock on the way up to Feudal Age, to like do a late contestant, and Noz manages to win this pond, which it's going to be difficult since he's not up yet. He's up a whole vill, almost 2 vills later than his opponent Arthwolf. He's going to lose his pond probably. But I was going to say that if he does win this pond, then their team has 3 ponds, which is just an absolutely ginormous advantage. Like you have such a huge eco lead, having 3 ponds, and not having 1 to 2 players losing their fish. But Red's building a barracks now, so it looks like he's just trying to do as close as he possibly can to your sort of standard Baguette Archer builds, right? So in this case, it's 20 pop. Well, it's actually 21 pop, which is actually quite late, especially considering like there's no deer to push on Golden Lakes, so you can't really do the super duper fast, crazy build orders. Orange has not built a second dock yet, and he's almost in feudal. And he's not building a barracks either. Oh, and where is this villager going? Noz, what are you doing? Noz is also only on the 1 dock. He's got a late mining camp. He's building a why are you... That barracks is almost closer to Orange's TC than your own TC. Like, there's not a lot in it here. No mining camp for red? Yeah, no, he built the mining camp on the way up. He had villas walking out that way, I think. What is this? No fire galley. No fire galley. You're just gonna peacefully coexist in this pond? Oh no. Okay, Noz is only just hit fuel age. Come on. You have to do it. Okay, good. He's making a fire galley. Oh! I was gonna be tilted off the face of this earth if he didn't make a single fire galley. Oh, back here. There's a lot of injured villagers here. If Noz isn't careful, oh, nice quick calls. But he is getting a lot of idle time there on his lumberjacks. Yo, T-West, how's it going? Over here, Schnecky has recognized that Red is not contesting the water. He's just going straight land army. So he's just like, yo, okay, I can do that too. But I've got the benefit of 3 fish. Potentially soon to be more, if he adds a couple more. What happened with Kato's fill count? He lost a villager to a boar. By the time he made his first fish, Flight already had 2 fish, and everybody else had 1. So instead of being, you know, a fish or 2 ahead, he was a fish or 2 behind, which is, you know, a bit rough for the Lithuanians. Definitely not the smoothest game for him right here. But really, like, the big difference here is, like, Flight is the only player who's, like, really heavily fish booming. I mean, Sneaky Salmon's... Oh, actually, I take that back, actually. Both Trace and Sneaky Salmon have the double docks, but they're sharing this one pond here. Whereas Flight's just doing a single dock. Single dock fish boom. The late blacksmith is a little bit of a problem for Schnecky, but Red also doesn't have fletching. His blacksmith's going up at the same time. So actually, you know, it's totally fine. I think the worry is the scout numbers. Yellow's got 5 scouts, Green's only got 3. It's a potentially a little bit of a dicey situation here if they can deny this woodline. Oh, these archers just poking across here. I always envisioned Robo with Aussie accent. Why is he on British accent? I mean, I think I'm an Aussie. I lived in the UK for a little bit, but not enough that I think I sound like a Brit. I hope. I don't want to sound like a Brit. That'd be horrible. We see some big palisade team walls coming across the middle here between the 2 pockets. I don't mind seeing that at all. It looks like Teal is thinking about team walling up with Noz. Yep, they're both going for a couple of stone walls through the middle there. Noz is... I mean, yeah. Trying to wall with this wood line right next to the enemy archery range is definitely not going to work. So he's going to have to big wall up towards the edge here. I mean, yeah, after he loses fish, but Noz also isn't really doing anything to capitalize on it, right? He hasn't added any extra fish of his own. Oh, we see more stone walls coming up here, but coming from the blue player instead of the green player. Why is Trace not building any stone walls? He's letting the rest of the team down here. Oh man, look at this castle age time. Flightlessbird, you're cracked, man. He's only made 5 scouts. He's only done a single dock fish boom, but he's up to castle age at a really fast time. He's getting armor, he's getting bloodlines right now. Oh, and you're gonna have to build another building here pretty quick smart before they break through this palisade wall. Okay, yeah, well, the archers walk away at the perfect time so that he can actually build the building, which is nice. Oh, and they're diving pretty deep into Red's eco. I mean, they're denying the end of the berries, which is not a huge deal. Where are Yellow's scouts, though? Oh, okay, they're in Green's base. Trace! You come and you don't have a house to hide in. That's unfortunate. Oh, and Blue thought about diving past the TC, but did not end up making it. And now... Oh, Trace has not noticed. Trace has not noticed. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's over. They can't all fit in the house. Trace. Trace. Flight, look at this 5-0 KD. Oh, no. And there's another villager over here to die as well. Oh, and let's turn around to fight. Trace is going for the BF fish boom. He's going for the BF fish boom into dead. I'm like, oh... And now, +2 armor coming in, Knights instantly in production, and Trace is just never getting up to castle age at this point. He's taken so many losses. 9-0 KD. Oh no. And it's going to keep happening, right? He's going to lose another villager or two for sure here. And look at Flight. Flight is just safely walls. All of these scouts that Trace have can't really get any serious damage in right here. Oh, that is painful. That is painful in the extreme. Okay, Nos has added a couple more fish in. I do like this. I mean, if he's not careful, the dock will eventually die to the Spearman and Eagle Warrior, but it's not a hugely worrying event right here. Okay, we see a couple of knights from Flight coming over this way to try to help back up his teammate here, and Nos's archers are just turning around and heading home, it seems. And whew, Nos, he's close to clicking Castle Age, and he needs a little bit more food. Teal and blue are both up, and like as we see, green is just... Oh, how did these archers get here? Oh, it's because Trace didn't team all the middle. Oh, or I guess like some combination of teal and green did not team all this space here, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of orange archers. Oh no, please, please Trace, no. Oh, it's gonna happen again. He's taking more German sausage. Oh, the scout's trying to find them. If he's paying attention, he'll see them walk past the house. Oh, I need vills and have fish. You need vills to gather the wood so you can make the fish. Oh no, Trace. Trace. Oh, and there's so many ancient villagers here as well from the scouts. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh. Trace's KD, it's 1 to 18. It's 1 to 18. Oh. Salmon also lost 10 vills? Oh, really? Oh, when the archers went past, did they? Oh boy. Oh, I didn't even see this. There's too many things going on in 4v4s. It's too hard to cast. Oh my god, this is just... Okay, Flight's adding in a second TC. He's adding a second dock. He's stopped 10 fish, so he's not going for a big fish boom. Okay, and Nos does protect his dock in the end. I don't think that Nos is in a position to carry, right? Because he's up to Castle Age not that much faster than his opponent, right? His opponent has killed 12 eco units. Nos has killed 5, 3 of which were fish. And then I guess a villager or two here or there. And he's not able to carry, whereas Flight has done so much damage. He's essentially taken... Oh, and the knights are still coming in because it's still open. That knight... That's not that knight isn't even going to die. And the archers are going to lead him towards the wall, potentially. And what's being attacked up here? Oh, and the knights... Oh. How do they have a score lead? I don't understand. What? Okay. Red is having a rough time. I haven't checked in on him in a while. Red is struggling. Flight isn't really doing anything to help him. He's just busy single-handedly killing the entire enemy team at the moment. So, I mean, I think it's reasonable at this point to trade red for green and a lot of teal. Flight's even adding a TC. I'm sorry, not Flight, Nos. I guess that makes sense. He needs to get some eco going. He can't rely on a fast imp, I don't think, when there's this many cav players in really strong positions. And the biggest issue right here is going to be that flightlessbird's team is just going to have full access to the middle of the map soon. The one thing I don't like is building the monastery right here in the middle. Even with all the sausage that Trace has been taking, the team eco is pretty even. I mean, true, but that's basically because, right, Blue has some fish, Nos has some fish, right? So they've got 10 extra eco units for free, essentially. Although these are all going to die from these crossbows soon. Oh, the knights are still back here. Yeah, for Lithuanians, I would like to see the monastery back here, so it's a little bit safer, right? If something goes wrong in the middle of the map, you don't want to lose your relics and lose that attack bonus on your knights. And then it's just that little bit easier to go and... Or I guess you can't take this one, because you don't have access to this pond at the moment. But this one relic at least, you can get a transport ship and try to pick that one up. Okay, Blue is making some moves. He's just walking past Red. He thinks, okay, Red's not a huge issue right now. Let's try to get in here and kill some of Flight. Come on. Let's get in here and kill some of Flight. Oh, okay, well, there's a hole. Nope. Where are we going, Schnecky? There's a hole, and there were villagers to kill. And we're just circling around again. I don't like this. Maybe the forward monastery is for production and not storage. It's certainly a possibility. Oh, Trace is getting a little bit of eco damage in return. He has made it to Castle Age himself, but he's only got 21 real villagers. Sneaky Salmon's only got 30. Flight has 64 after 3 TC booming as the Persians. It looks like they've got the stone walls up, except for the giant holes in Blue's base. I think that is the case. Oh, there's going to be an overchop here soon as well. The house will eventually die, potentially. Yeah. So they are mostly walled at this point. This knight is still killing things. Oh my god. It's got a KD of 12. It's killed 6 villagers. Oh, that's cracked. It is in such a good position. Oh. Noz. Is that... He needs this TC, though, is the problem, right? Because he needs access to Goldstone. But, oh no, and the relics are being stored here. Where's the monk going? I don't know if he's aware of how many relics there are. No, they've got like full vision in the middle. Maybe they think that there's 4 relics and it's hidden away somewhere, or maybe he's going to head down to the bottom now. No transports in queue. Fog. Go away, Fog. How do I make this thing go away? There we are. Oh. Orange's crossbows are here. It's going to be enough to deny this TC from going up. You know, I'm trying to avoid being too negative, but this game seems to be more over than the last one. Although, funnily enough, they're still only just behind in villager count. They're just massively behind in army and map position. Like, not having any access to the middle golds at this point is killer. I would very much expect to see somebody getting close to building a castle soon. Arf is, you know, is on the way. Inca's, I guess, cheaper castles as well definitely helps. I'd love to see Arf build a castle, like, up here. I guess denying the TC is obviously good. But more just controlling the top of the hill, not getting down on the cracked terrain, and preventing Noz from just freely transitioning down into the hill would be the logic behind that sort of a castle. Obviously, they can always just drop one somewhere in the middle to control the golds. Oh, Noz is pushing back because Purple's army is a little bit out of position right here, leaving him all by himself, but he's got quite a lot of reinforcements. They could potentially swing back in and take this, but Orange has now gone too far out of position himself. Yeah. Keep patrolling them coming in. Garrisoning the TC might help as well. Get a couple extra arrows being fired. Oh, some blue crossbows are back here. They've done a bit of a around the world, it seems. They've poked around the back of Flight, and now they'll come over here to Purple. They've killed a couple of bills, it seems. Nothing too crazy. Well, 10 bills plus whatever they killed before then. Actually, quite a lot. Shneki has killed Ikokiri. Where's the right thing? Ikokiri. Yeah, quite a lot of bills. Quite a lot of bills. But Flight has huge, insane eco. I guess that's the problem, right? He's the only one that really has big eco for his team, whereas both of the flanks for Noz's team are like kind of somewhat advanced. A little bit. Like, Teal's not horrible, but Fraser's still only got 29 bills. He's only just now adding a second TC. Oh, that's so sad. Okay, I like the fish traps. He's making good fish traps. I like the effort the Sneaky Salmon's going to. They're just not working correctly, unfortunately. Over this side, no fish traps for anybody here. And Shneki, I would love to see Shneki making more fish. Honestly, I guess he doesn't have the huge wood income, but with like this much fish in an entire pond by yourself, you should never really be making farms. You should be hard fishing out the entire pond and just trying to... Ooh, that's a big castle. Denies this TC a little bit. But yeah, just try to fish out the pond as quickly as possible. Use that to kickstart your eco, and then you switch into farms as the fish start to run out and get less efficient. But yeah, look at this. Flight is hard saving for Imp. Like, he's almost, 800 food, 700 gold. He's just about to click up. And the position is just not great at the moment. Oh, there's just been a little bit of lag, it seems. There's going to be a quick pause, but we'll get back into it just a minute. Oh, and the relic is still down here. Where did Purple's monk go? Oh, okay, he's down here. So it's still walking towards the south, but we've still got no sign of a transport ship to actually go and pick up the relic. One of the hardest carries I have ever seen. Are we talking about flight here? Um, the thing is, I don't even feel like he's been really carrying so much at this point. Like, obviously he's done a ton of damage to green, but like that's just his direct matchup, right? He's just fighting his guy almost. Um, Otherwise, it's just I feel like everybody else hasn't really been doing too much, right? Like Blue had that big raid that we missed, and we just saw the tail end of shortly before. But Noz, he's got hardly anything for an eco KD. Like half of his eco kills, or a third, were killing some fish, right? So really, he's not hurt anybody on the enemy team. He's just been poking and prodding against army. Sneaky Salmon, the same sort of thing. They've like no one's really been trying to force the issue other than Schnecky for Mr. Noz's team. Whereas Flight has just been sort of all over the place, trying to get in small raids here and there, which somehow turned into massive raids. We do see Imperial Age coming in right here for Mr. Flight. Noz is close to clicking up. He's almost ready, but the thing is that a flank hitting imp is not the same as a pocket hitting imp, because +4 armor and Cavalier just absolutely destroys Arbalest. Right? So unless Noz is preemptively teching into pikes and helbs, which, I mean, let's be honest, how much food eco does he have? He's only got 20 bills on food and 30 bills on wood. Like he's essentially doing a mini fast imp. Right? It's not exactly super fast, but he's not fully boomed either, right? So he can't afford to switch into having, 40 helbs on the drop of the hat, right? So, oh, whew, look at that castle from Flight. I didn't even notice that. So Flight's team is sort of controlling the middle of the hill, and then Flight and Noz and Schnecky are on either side of the hill. But yeah. Noz needs 20 to 30 to 40 helbs to stand any chance against Flight just rolling over there and cleaning his army. And I think it's quite conceivable that Flight just sort of ignores this for a little while, comes here, kills the Arbs, and then comes back over here and then kills these crossbows just before they hit Arb as well. Dravidians, cheap racks. I mean, the upgrade for Helb is not the hard part. The hard part is the production, right? Like, researching Helb is like 150 food. For Dravidians, it's 300 for every other civ. Not a big deal. It's needing to build, 6 to 8 barracks and spend the resources on 40 Helbs. Or 40 spearmen, right? That's the hard part. I think the one good thing going for Noz's team at the moment is that they are kind of mostly stonewalled. I say that as I look at a hole as some knights are about to run through it. But in theory, they could extend the stonewall down to the bottom, and they could start trading if that became necessary. Right, if they lost the middle. The issue is the glaringly giant hole over here. And also Noz is almost overchopped over there. And I guess another issue for Noz is that his castle is down at the bottom of the hill. So if he wants to, fight Orange here, he has to tread uphill, which just takes forever to kill a castle like this. Which is very unfortunate. Alright, but Schnecky's an imp as well. Where's Flight's army gone? Oh, they're back here, okay. Ooh. Big fight, big cleanup. Schnecky loses a third of his Arbs before he gets Arb. Oh, and Flight's just going straight into Paladin. His ego is insane. Okay, yep, it's a full Flight certified carry at this point. Yeah, oh boy. I mean, I think he was a little bit greedy trying to get this castle up here on the hill. I don't think he necessarily needed that one right there. But yeah, like, Noz is, like, really split up. Like, his production is up at the top, but his trebs are down the bottom, and he wants to defend the trebs, which is just that little bit awkward, I guess, to worry about. Trace is still Trace is up to Imp. Okay. He's done a decent job trying to stay active in this game. The problem is just he doesn't really have... I mean, okay, he does have 30 fish, which is quite impressive. But he also just doesn't have the late game Civ to make, right? Like, what's he going to do with Khmer? He's going to make battle elephants. I mean, they're a decent unit, but they're expensive as all hell, and they're quite slow. And really, he needs mobility right here. And making Cavalier versus Paladin is not the go. Is this live? Yes, this match is live. Ooh, he's getting some rage in on flight. I like this. He's got a couple of like-av in here somehow. Because, like, as I said, most of Noz's team is stonewalls. There's essentially no stonewalls whatsoever for Flight's team. Oh, and there's even some rage coming in here as well. Trace he's doing his best to redeem himself, trying to harass everybody wherever he can. I think the gold control is just going to be a big pickle soon. Although, saying that, the Trebs are taking down this castle. They're going to take down the rest of Flight's castles pretty soon. We're still committing to Arbs, though, which is... I would love to see Halbs. Or, like, even... what's the word? Arumi. Arumi would be decent, just for, you know, more... some sort of melee unit to sit in front of his Arbs and allow Sticky Salmon to be active somewhere else. No attack send, flex on Bastia on the Shneki clean. You mean down here? I did not notice that. I will admit. But yeah, like, Trace is just going straight into Hussars, which is... Hussars vs Paladin is rough as hell. I almost feel like he would be the one that's better off making Helbs, to be honest. Because the Italian player can't make Helbs, but eventually he wants to get into Genbos if he has enough castles. So the Khmer player... Oh, see, he's having stocked over here as well. The Khmer player could just be making Helbs, and I guess he can make Hussars as well if he wants to. Hussars versus Villages is fine. Of course he can. The problem, though, is killing Flight's army. But, yeah, the team score, we've got a bit of a switch going on here. Noz is dragging his team back into the game. Trace is doing a good job. And Flight's really the only one who's in a commanding position on his team. Red has hit Imp. He doesn't really have an eco to speak of. He's 1 TC. He's got a decent number of vills, but, you know, as soon as he loses 20 vills to a raid or something, it takes a very long time to replenish with just the 2 TCs. What has 45 Paladin ever done anyways? Hustle spam from Fishboom. I mean, you could also do a Paladin boom, Paladin spam from Fishboom, right? That's a bit loud, let's zoom out a bit. I mean, I assume that Flight is winning this fight, but there is a big batch of crossbows over here. Crossbows and arms, I should say. The problem is, I guess, fighting underneath this castle is the tricky part. Oh, I guess... Oh, this is something I didn't even think about. They got Marlians and Khmer. Neither of these civs can Paladin. Which does make life a little bit tricky. Not having Paladin, if you get to the super late game, is quite painful. Whereas both purple and yellow both are happily going to be making Paladin. Have we picked up this relic? No, this relic is still chilling down here. And it looks like Kados may even lose his monastery and then lose the plus to attack the Lithuanians. That's actually really big. Not picking up the third relic from the corner and then leaving this monastery in the middle of the map, as I was like complaining about when he built the monastery, is risky as hell. He's trying to leg it back though with the relic. He knows how important it is to keep control of that. 52 soon to be Cavalier from Chaos. Yeah, he does have a very large army, I will give you that. And he's even in a position to go straight to Paladin if he wants to. I think his stable that was doing Cavalier got destroyed, is what I would guess. It looks like that had to restart there, I should say. Trace going straight Hussar to avoid an awkward transition from Cavalier. He did research Cavalier as well, though, to like upgrade the what, 20 or so units that he had Oh boy. He is doing elephants. Holy balls. I mean, that is a decision. I will give him that. Where is most of the army? Okay, most of his blue arbs are over here with Noz. I don't mind that. These games have just been incredibly back and forth. There's so many situations where I've been like, it's completely over for one of the teams. I'm not sure why they're still continuing. And then they keep bringing it back somehow. Oh, this big massive cav is scary as hell, though. Noz, where are the arbs, man? Where are the helps? Or where are the Ellies? Yeah, they need something to get in front and body block. Stop all these cav from rolling onto the arbs is the issue. That castle getting denied is a little bit unfortunate. And like this is the biggest issue that I have with the War Elephants, is they're just so damn slow. Yeah, the Persian bonus is big. Yeah, the +2 attack against archers for the Nightline. Definitely help get some pretty quick cleanups. Definitely having an impact. Flights even go for an extra TC. Nobody seems to be even thinking about trading at this point. Which, I mean, I guess it is quite a hectic game, right? There's a lot going on. But eventually the gold in the middle... Oh, there's quite a lot of gold. I wouldn't hate a little bit of trade, just to have some redundancy in case you get pushed up the middle. But saying that, there is still a shit ton of gold. Blight, sub 100 pop. Ooh, that's true. He's lost a ton of army, and he's lost a ton of villages as well. What's happened to his Eco KD? He's lost 190 villages. What? I guess the raids from Trace must have really had an impact. I just... Like, remember we saw 4 or 5 light cav just poking around? He must have killed a shit ton of villagers there. Holy balls. Ooh, what are we Xing over here? Oh, there's some arbs. They're trying to poke forward, it seems, but they should just get cleaned up by a wave of hussars from Trace, I think. Hussar versus villagers called it. I mean, yep, Viada, you were right. Oh, they're still back there trying to get some raids on. And Noz is just committed to full arbs. He wants to get to 100 arbs, basically, is what he's going for, it seems. And like the issue here for Purple is that he sort of missed the timing window to do Paladin. Because he can never really afford to do Paladin again anymore. And without Paladin, making Cavalier is just really, really inefficient. If you're being honest. Like, the extra Pierce armor is huge when you're fighting arbs. The extra attack is obviously great against everything else. And the extra HP. And then because he's got so little gold, he can't really tech into Hussars, right? Oh, okay. No, I take it back. He is researching Paladin now. But I think they need somebody to make helms to fight off these elephants. Because these elephants are big, fat, chunky boys. Shineki played so well. I mean, honestly, I think everybody on Noz's team has had moments where they have done something incredibly well. Like, but none of them have had a perfect game, as you would say. I mean, I don't think anybody has, to be realistic. But they've all had their moments to shine, and then their moments where they've had to face some adversity and try to come back from it. Oh, that's all this golden stone still just chilling here. That is interesting. Red's trying to tech into the helms. I like that. GG, game 3 times is Dizzy. Looks like it. It looks definitely possible. Oh, and now Flight's I'm expecting the pikeman. I think he is the one div that should not be doing pikeman. But the problem is, like, he's got no access to gold now, so he can't make... Well, he's got a little bit. He's got realistically no access to gold. So he can't keep making paladin, so he has to switch into some sort of trash. Yeah, this game was insane. The back and forths were just... Oof. Both Noz pockets gave like this false confidence to the Billos. I mean, I was in the exact same position, right? Like, the amount of damage that Flight did to Trace and Sneaky Salmon with his scout raids. Oh, oops, wrong way. Just the one. Come on, red. Red. There we are. Yeah, just like the amount of damage that happened to the two pockets throughout, mid to late feudal age, early castle age. I did not imagine a possible scenario where they were able to come back from that. It's just absolutely insane amount of damage that happened. I'll take a quick look at the stats. Noz with the pretty nice KD. Light just started out with the insanely great KD, and then it's just sort of fallen off towards the end when he got raided to hell. How much relic gold was it? Yeah, like right, even just the 2 relics is a reasonable amount of gold to try to keep your cap going. Civwin. I don't know about that. I was saying that I didn't really like the Khmer pick, and that I favored the civs for Flighty Bird. Loss. Used Incas and they used Biz. Win, and then they didn't use the civ. They didn't use the civ either. So that goes back to here with a win. And they use Khmer as well. And that gets a win. So then, TA, we're going to have Tatars, Spanish, Huns, and Goths or Burgundians, one of the two. And Hindustanis, Burmese, I guess Sicilians and Bengalis. Looks to be the civs that we'll be seeing. Whew. That was honestly quite an exhausting game. There was just so much going on, constantly going back and forth. GG's, well played. Off to game 3. That's the one. Got the no-go with the other team having Burmese. I mean, the question is, like, what do Burgundians add as opposed to Goths, right? Like, Burgundians obviously have Custier, which are great. They've got Helbs, but Goths also have Helbs. They've got hand cannons. Goths also have hand cannons. Like, they're slightly worse, but they're still hand cannons. So really, like, the difference is the Burgundians have a better eco, plus Custier, versus Goths having a better spam and Huskars. And do you want to be making Custier versus Imperial Camels? Probably. I think that's fine. Custier versus Sicilians? Probably okay. Custier versus Elephants? Eh. Again, it's like, it's maybe okay, but you definitely prefer to have some sort of Helb type unit. So, which has the best cannon galleon? Spanish, so it does not matter. You've got the Spanish cannon galleons, that's all you need. I can definitely see an argument. I could see an argument to use Burgundians instead of Goths. It's just really a question of, I think, the timings of when you want the Civ to be powerful. I think Burgundians are better early in the game, when you're able to abuse the fact that you've got cheaper eco upgrades faster to kickstart your eco. And then in the super late game, when they just have really pop efficient units with Custier and good hand cannons and BBTs and things like that. Whereas Goths are going to be insane if you're able to get them to boom into an early imp flood of Huskars and just raid the hell out of everybody's eco, right? That would be the best case scenario for the Goths. So at the end of the day, right? It's that's the big question in my mind, is when do you want this fourth civ to be the best? And Poles is sort of like an awkward in between of the two civs, where you've got the good early eco from the Burgundians because Folworks, but you also don't have a lot of space on Team Acropolis to use Folworks, which makes it a bit difficult. But then you've got the Flood, but instead of it being early Imp, it's probably like late Castle Age is when you start the Flood with just Knights instead of waiting for Cavalier. But then you've got the issue where you don't have a super good late game unit. Like O-books are decent. They're not amazing. They're pretty good. The cheap Cavalier are definitely resource efficient, but they're not pop efficient when you compare them to something like a Custier. Um, Poles potentially don't like fighting Hindustanis because there's so many camels. And Sicilians, if they're maybe doing like Helb SO, they might not like that either. So I think that going for Burgundians is probably better, and Goths is almost like a scary pick that you've taken to try to put some fear in the enemy, right? Make them over or underreact with their draft and their civ picks, right? Maybe they pick something a little bit suboptimal because they think that it's a solution to dealing with the Goth units potentially. Um, I do need to duck off to the bathroom real quick. That was another marathon game, almost in the hour mark. So I will be back shortly. Enjoy an ad. Okay, I have made it back. It looks like we're not getting into the next game quite yet. There's a bit of a wait in the lobby, it seems. But we do finally have all 8 players in the lobby, but not quite in a position to start. There does seem to be a bit of a personnel change going on. For Team Noszombie, they have to sub out Sneaky because he has to leave in the not too distant future. So they will be playing with their lowest 2 rated players, which were Schnecky and some Humble Pie. And it seems that Flightless Bird's team is being a lovely good sport, and they are also subbing out one of their better players so that they can play with Bastia and Humble Pie. No, no, not Humble Pie. Sorry, Bastia and Spot the Samurai. Words, words are difficult sometimes. So we have to give big props. Basita, like Flux Basita. Exclamation mark AusDraft for the teams per team. The players per team. Um Whoa, what the hell? They got Burgundians and Goths. Interesting. Let's get into the game. Burgundians and Goths? So they're not using Huns. Interesting. That is certainly not what I was expecting. In the absolute slightest. Okay, we'll get into capture age right here. Let's make sure that that's worked out. It is. Okay, here we go. We're into game number 3. Score is 1-1. Exciting game in this best of 3 between Team Noszombie and Team flightlessbird. For Team Noz, we've got Schnecky here playing as the Sicilians. We've got Trace as the Hindustanis. We've got Noz as the Burmese, and then some humble pie playing as the Bengalis. Over on the other side, we've got flightlessbird playing as the Burgundians. We've got Drain, Bastia Drain Gang playing as the Goths. In the purple, we've got Arfwolf as the Tatars, and then finally Spot the Samurai as the Spanish. So what are we expecting from each of the teams? We'll expect to start off with some team walls across the top of the hill. Potentially one of the players per team building a dock for a little bit of a fish eco boost. But unit-wise, from the Sicilians, probably scouts into knights. Hindustanis, scouts into camels. Or maybe FC camels. FC camels is definitely a possibility. Noz with the FC Arambai. And then Bengalis are probably scouts into boom, would be my guess. And then for team flight, Coustier, Burgundians, potentially FC Coustier or scouts into knights into Coustier. You got Goths, potentially doing scouts into boom. Tatars are probably FC CA, and then FC Conks from Spanish. Yeah, Panda, that's definitely a bit weird that you've got the 2 ranged units on the same side. A little bit weird to me, to be honest. But I guess maybe they're thinking if Flight also goes FC Castle Drop, then you've got a castle on each side, but then you could have just switched the 2 pockets. So you've got some CA to support, and then you've got the Goth booming behind the protection of the Spanish. Oh! Oh! Noz! No loom! Noz! Oh! Oh! What? Oh, you don't want to wall the villain, you want to wall the wolf in. Noz! This is unfortunate. Now he's going to wait for the scout to get here. This is going to delay his dock immeasurably. But we do not see any sign of a villager coming forwards for a dock from Team Flight. So in that case, he's going to have essentially a free safe fish boom with these 5 fish in the pond. He's probably going to make 3, maybe 4. He does save the vill, but like we see the wood float already, right? By the time he builds the dock, he'll have enough wood to have made the first fishing ship. So he's just fallen behind ever so slightly. He's also not building the dock next to a shorefish, so it seems that he's probably just gonna, turn around and go home instead of, staying to gather some food. Oh, no, never mind. We do have a bill coming forward. We do have Flight here. And he has done loom. He's a prepared boy, making sure that he's not going to get wrecked by a wolf. He did miss one up there. And it seems that he's going to wall in this villager so that he can take a shorefish. Okay. Noz is going home, Flight leaving a bill there. So the fact that Noz is leaving indicates that he's never going to contest the water and make, a second dock or anything like that and try to contest it with fire galleys. There's a very, 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 very tiny chance that Flight might think about doing something like that, but I would be very surprised if that was the case. Okay, Arf's doing loom because he's housed, not because he's wanted to go up. Makes sense. I was definitely hoping that he would not be going up. Okay, Goths. Oh, they're both going up. Okay, so got scouts into CA. Scouts into CA and scouts into boom. Okay, I don't hate them. The scouts into CA definitely does give you some added flexibility because your eco is just stronger when you start making CA, right? You've got the food eco set up already to get all the upgrades you need, like bloodlines. You've got the stable as well, obviously, so you can get bloodlines, you can get husbandry, you can get bodkin arrow. You're all set up in that case. The problem is that you hit castle age anywhere from 2 to 6 minutes later, so you're obviously behind in numbers. But in exchange for that, your eco is much more solid. On the other side, we have 2 players going up. Bengalis, yep, as expected, doing scouts into Boom probably. And then Sicilians doing scouts into Knights. Makes sense. So we're going to have FC Camels and FC Arambai in the middle 2 players. Neither team is really rushing the walls up, as opposed to what you sometimes see in Team Acropolis games. So there's always a little... Ooh, we've got an off-the-hill lumber camp over there for Flightless Bird. So what I'm saying is that there's always a chance for some sneaky scouts to get in and cause some havoc with basically any of the players anywhere on this map, because there's just holes and openings everywhere. Where are these villages going? Oh, he's got a lumber camp down here as well. Interesting. And he's also got... Oh, that's nice. Look at those deer. Chuck up a TC here. Get the gold. Get the deer. Oh, that is just... Whoa, peak perfection. Egg walls. They're very, very large egg walls, right? You're egg walling the entire team. That's what we're eventually going to see here. By the way, for anyone interested, this is essentially the Nations Cup version of Team Acropolis. So the back of the map is never wallable to the edge of the map, so you always have to do the full circle. And I guess the golds and stones are a little bit more spread out. Really? It's ostrich egg. Yep, makes sense. That is a big egg. The walls are very slowly continuing. Somebody didn't take their baller. Who did not take... it has to be Trace that didn't take his second ball, because you need 2 ballers to go up to Feudal Age and make scouts. You're never going to forget that if you're doing a scout... Well, I have seen people forget to take a ball when they're doing scouts, but most of the time, you're never going to forget a ball when you try and do a fast Feudal into something. So Trace is just being a little bit derpy here. Just take a look at his line of sight. Oh, maybe he just didn't even scout it, but then... Did he yoink somebody else's ball? That is... That's a little bit unfortunate. He'll notice it eventually when, the walls continue out this way. But, missing a second ball makes the FC a bit difficult. I mean, he's almost got the food and the gold. Where are his buildings? Okay, he's building stable blacksmith down there. Makes a lot of sense. And I guess this will just give him a nice food boost when he wants to start getting, horse collar and double bit axe and whatnot. And this is what you absolutely love to see. You've got 2 players just happily coexisting in the lake, fishing away, having a good time. Oh, no, never mind. Nos is here to ruin it, making a fire galley. What a party pooper. Just peacefully coexist. Just enjoy the fish and have a nice time, man. Why you gotta be so serious making boats? Making war boats, especially. Okay, we've got Market Stable from Flight. Okay, so he's not going for Coustier. So FC Knights? That doesn't seem very ideal. Maybe FC Boom and then make just a couple of Knights to secure the TCs? That village is on the outside of the wall, but oh man, that's a big hole. Like, there's a decent number of scouts coming in here, and this is big open. This is a bit of a pickle. I say that, but at the same time, over here, I'm not sure why Blue has 2 villages outside his base there that just died. That's a bit rough. He's also going to get potentially a very nice hill position there. Oh, there's a spearman coming over trying to help out. So yeah, we've got 2 players up to castle age already. Spot the samurai a little bit delayed. Oh, he's already in castle age. Holy shit. Never mind. Where's he building a castle? He doesn't have the stone yet. Okay. Never mind. I'm just completely not paying any attention. Oh, they've both made a fire galley now. But Moz did win the water engagement. Oh, no, the fish is down there. Never mind. Okay. We're big boating now, it seems. I'm not sure if I enjoy this idea from Grey here, coming in with the scouts, because this means that he's going to get walled in, he's going to get trapped. There's a very limited amount of impact that his scouts can have. Whereas if he stayed on the outside, maybe, you know, snipe a vill or two and then just run away, your scouts can live, they can fight another day. You know, potentially they can just camp down here and deny villagers building a TC that aren't expecting any. Oh! The sheep fucking held the gate open! What? Oh my god. What? Oh, Trace. Trace. Oh no. That is. Oh, oh my lord. Oh, where's this villager going? Oh no, Schneeki's got like a TC gather point fucked somewhere. I think. Because he lost those two villagers down here for no reason. And then now this bloke is just going for a big wander. Okay, there's a decent number of scouts and spears running around, so I guess purple's not going to get a huge amount of damage. But man, just going through the gate because of the sheep was just such an insane moment. And like one or two camels as well. Just there's plenty of. Oh, this villager died on the outside. The sheep's not holding the gate open still, is it? No. Oh, he's trying to bait a unit into running under the gate and opening it so he can leave. Oh, never mind. In the water engagement, Noz does win the water fight. I guess he can go kill these fish now, but like all this investment and like all the fishes run out anyway. So it's like you've made 2 to 3 to 4 boats potentially, and not really. You know, there's not really a lot of fish to pay off for it, right? Okay. Flight is just adding TCs. He's made a couple of knights. Where's that villager going? I have no idea. Yeah, he's just got a couple of knights to run around, make sure he got his TCs up, and then he's just going to be a big boom boy, get to the Burgundian late game, use that sick eco that he has. Otherwise, those two players, Bengalis are up to castle age. Schneeki is quite slow. He did lose quite a few villagers, by the way. He lost 6 villagers. Whew. Not exactly the ideal start that you would want to have. Okay, and they're seeing the knights coming in. They know that Flight's doing it, but there's no upgrades whatsoever. So they're fully aware that he's not committing to knights. He's just making a couple to see what damage he can get, really. Cool. He's going to find this TC. He's going to die to the TC. The camel's going to kill these scouts. Easy peasy. Oh, look at that conch! Oh, that's rough. He's losing even more vills. And this is why I was, like, really surprised by the Japanese snipe. Because, like, Britons are obviously good, but Spanish... I mean, it's only one conch, right? I shouldn't get too excited, but the conch is just such an insanely crazy unit in early Castle Age. Its stats are crazy, it does so much damage, it's so incredibly mobile. And then, you know, you've obviously got the great Spanish late game. And by that I mean paladins and the best trade bonus in the game, right? If one conch can do this, I don't want to know what more can do. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, one conch just killed, you know, 4 villagers. That means that 4 conchs are going to kill 24 vills, right? That's how math works. I've got a second castle? I don't know about that. And why are these units running around the back? Is that because that's because that's their only gate, it seems? I no, they've deleted a wall here now. Yeah, I don't like a second castle unless you're going to, like, hard commit to conchs. And if you're hard committing to conchs, I feel like you're probably staying 1 TC so that you can just make a crap ton of farms and afford the huge amount of conchs that you want. Okay, we've got the Bengali boom getting underway. 4 TCs. Spreading out over the map. 3 TCs for greens, got an extra one up here. Conchs are about to break in, and Schneeki is not having a good game. Schneeki is... Ugh. Yeah. He's not happy. I mean, like the 3 conchs, like, essentially 2-shot the camels. Oh, conks are just so good. Conks are so good. Okay, the Rambai are coming over to save the day, it seems. Yep, deleting some walls to let them in, which is nice. The question is really, like, how much damage is Noz going to be able to do with his Rambai? Oh! Oh, Yellow's not paying any attention. Oh! That hurts. That hurts. Not as much as Shneki, though, right? Because he's losing wheels after he's already built a TC, whereas Shneki's lost wheels before he's even made it to Castle Age. So, the vills that he lost, 5 minutes ago have not been working for 5 minutes. Whereas, those 6 villagers have not been working for the last 30 seconds. The Rambai vs Conks. I feel like Conks should absolutely dominate in, like, a straight-up engagement. Just because more damage, essentially. More damage, they're a little bit easier to micro, I think. More easily able to deal damage. See, Flight's going for a 5th TC. Big Boom Boy. Okay, now he's getting Cavalier. He's not done any of the other upgrades in terms of like armor or attack, and he's nowhere near going Imp. So, he's looking, or at least thinking about doing a Castle Age Night Flood. Yep, the 1 extra range definitely helps as well. And then the inaccuracy in the Conks, in the Rambai definitely does not help. Right, like in small numbers, like a 3v3 sort of situation, some of the Rambai are just going to miss and do nothing. Like, obviously some of the Conks are going to miss as well, but I think they're a little bit more accurate. Say accuracy here somewhere. I'm not sure why I'm worrying about 65. 20. Yeah. But, like, obviously they still deal, like, damage if they miss, but so do Conks, right? Oh, Sapien Fez. Nick, thank you very much for the sub. Welcome to the games. Hope you're enjoying them. Oh, yep, Bastia's like, nope, I don't want to get raided again. Let's drop a castle here, secure my TC. The Vill counts are pretty equal, I must say. The, army counts are a slight lead for flightlessbird, but, right, this is sort of like a similar situation to the previous game, where you've got a couple of players who are very, very dead in blue, right? And then the rest of the team's trying to, like, make up for it, essentially. Let's see. Anyone close to imping? Trace is thinking about it. He's got 600 food. Flightlessbird is about to click imp. Okay, so he just did Cavalier and started to make a little bit of army somewhere. Okay, here we are. Oh, this is big. All these CA and Cavalier, they've denied this second castle coming forwards from Noz, trying to secure some more stone. Where is the Rambai army? Okay, it's coming forwards. Oh, it's coming back, trying to secure his castle now. Fezzy Wuzzy. How's it going? Okay, the CA is just going to run away. I think CA should be decent against a Rambai as well, if you get all the upgrades, like ballistics especially, and husbandry. So you got the mobility and the ballistics so that you don't miss when they try being annoying micro people. The Mighty Bird has had enough. I mean, yeah, I think the Paladin Ruffle Stomp is going to come in pretty soon. I would be hoping that Grey is close to imping soon, but to be fair, he did make scouts first, right? Whereas Flight just went straight FC. But yeah, like, just getting up here, raiding the booming player makes a ton of sense. He's getting his building, he's about to click up, he's almost got 1,000 food. Very, very close. Purple continues to run away. And the Rambai are just absolutely horrible at hitting them while they run. Oh, look at the symmetry in these walls. They're just naturally walling against each other. The problem is that Flight already has villagers inside their walls, building stables all over the place. And he also is aware of what's going on, it seems, and is sending a knight to deny these walls. Both teams are like thinking about setting up the trade walls, getting forward map positions, which is lovely to see for Team Acropolis. This is really important, what you need to get this game into the late game comfortably. Ooh, okay, it seems like a bunch of these CA died somewhere back here, it seems. Most of them are going to die soon, but I really don't think it's worth it for Shneki to be making a handful of knights at this stage of the game. Of course, an Australia tournament has Team Acropolis. Yeah, my prediction is that this map is going to be played in at least a third of all games, like all matches, and it should be the most popular map by far. But yeah, like Shineki's like so far behind eco-wise that I would rather he just concentrates on booming. Like he's not even keeping all 3 TCs constantly working because he's spending so many resources on knights. He needs to get himself up to 80 bills as quickly as possible so that he can either start to flood knights late in the game or go up to imp and do something useful. Because he's very, very quickly just going to fall off and not be able to do anything. Oh, no. Just booming into helms? I do not like this at all. Not in the slightest. You have a player who 4 TC booms, 5 TC booms, sorry. He's going to get an extra, 10 bills when he hits him. So he's going to have 130 to 140 bills, and he's just boomed into helms. That is not what you like to see. Like, these are about to be Paladin. Yes, they don't have bloodlines, but they're still, Paladin is still a Paladin. He's going to have all the pierce armor, so he can just run under castles and TCs. He just does not care. And yeah, like, Gray's just hit him, and he's only now researching Pikeman. Like, if Pikes was the play, he needed to have already researched most of the upgrades, and then be instantly hitting Helm and Conscription, and getting the flood going, I think. I guess the Arambai will be useful. Like, if he's got a decent number of pikemen, even just to sit in front of the Arambai, then maybe Nods can take a decent fight here. That's another castle's being denied. That's very unfortunate for Noz. Oh yeah, those Arambai actually cleaned up pretty well there with some pikes. So not the end of the game situation that I was afraid of. I like the absolutely identical walls that they're trying to build, which is just not working out for Samurai. And he's just walked around the other side of the wall, and he's gonna wall. Oh, no, he's not gonna wall himself in. Okay, that's good. That's good. Oof, that hurts a little bit for Trace. A little bit unfortunate there. I'm starting to wonder if really Paladin is the best call from Flight. I mean, I think he always has to open Paladin just so that he can get some army out on the field quickly. But I feel like I would be wanting to hard Mindstone and try to get a Kusia switch going in as timely a manner as possible. Because otherwise, you're just going to start to fall off against soon-to-be really strong units, right? Like, we're seeing some archery ranges popping up, so we're going to see elephant archers coming out now. From some humble pie playing as Big at least. And like, even if they're the melee elephants, right? Like the Paladin just aren't gonna deal enough damage. Like the Cusier at least, you can run in, you can do your big one-shot damage and then leave. We see Perfusion though, so the Goth spam is coming online now. And Goth Helbs versus Hindustani Camels. Yeah, it's a pretty decent matchup to be honest. And especially seeing as like these walls are not anywhere near completed at the moment. It means that they just got free reign to just run in here, deny trade. I would hope to see some Huskars as well, honestly. He's got 5, okay, he's getting elite Huskar now as well. And you just get into this space here with Huskars, you deny this eco, you deny the start of this trade line. And then try to get yourself to late game. That's just a random scout. Okay, Halbs here. There's only the one Elephant Archer, so it seems like mostly concentrating on Halbs. Considering Grey has 140 vills, I'm surprised how little resources he has. You're making a couple of trade cards, a couple of Halbs, and doing 2 attacks. Oh, is there some slinging going on? Nope. I'm very puzzled why the eco is just so little right now. The big massive camel. Ugh. These camels are going to have a field day against one of these armies, I think. But when this... Okay, but Noz is coming over to help out. Okay. Good. Yeah, and it feels like Flight is sort of stalled at the moment. Oh, where is Paladin going? I guess he's figuring that he wants to defend this side. But I feel like just coming over... I guess he can't come over here, though, because of the Hindustani camels. Ooh. Didn't really think that through, did I? The Arambai are actually kind of insane, to be honest. So the essential, like, the splash damage effects that they have against the massed infantry there, that don't have a ton of HP, is pretty nice. This is not a great fight for Grey, though. He just does not have enough health, or health production, right? Like, all of his barracks are back here. And, you know, 1v1, a Paladin beats Helbs. And, you know, 2v1, they definitely win. So, he needs more production forward as quickly as possible. Otherwise, Noz is going to start losing his castles, and then he can't keep making a Rambai. Which is definitely not the situation that we want to be in. The question for me is, how soon are we going to see Caravanserai being built? Currently, there are none on the field, which makes me incredibly sad. Once you get 30 or so Rambai, it's like running around with the mounted Onja. Yep, yeah, I can definitely see that. They were doing something. The problem, though, in my opinion, is like when you've got a big bunch of ranged units back here like this, you're not very good at engaging them. Because you've got such low range, right? You've only got 5 range, the CA have 7, Kongs have 6, and 6 isn't too much. Like, the 7 versus 5, and if you're against, like, longer range units, for instance, like Magyar CA or like any of the other unique units that have, you know, around 8 range, I think it's not the best, but they're still doing a decent job, I must say. I must say. Grey just needs, as I keep saying, he just needs more production. More production forwards. You got 17 helps in queue in 8 barracks, therefore you can easily make 1 or 2 more. And Noz just instantly lost 2 castles there. So he's only got the 2 castles left at this point to keep up a Rambai production. The final players are starting to hit Imperial Age now. Orange just hit, blue is not too far away. That's what teammates are for? I mean, yeah, that's fair. Oh, big CA raid though coming in over here. This, just killing all of these trade cards that have been started, because like they're in a good position at this stage for trade, right? You got 12, you got 19, you got 16. The other side's got 4. 19, and that's it, right? So the 23 trade versus 30, 40, 50 trade. Right? You've got a very solid trade lead, and then it's all just going to disappear now with these CA running in. Are they going to notice, is the question. Is the market going to be deleted, or are all the trade cards going to die? On the other side, there's a couple of Paladin roaming around raiding. Noz just doesn't have... Where is his army? Oh, his army's all down the bottom side, because he's trying to help out on this side. And oh, they're calling the GG. Oh. Really well played from flightlessbird. flightlessbird's team, I should say. The entire team played well there. Honestly, this game feels kind of anticlimactic because it's only 46 minutes, and like the other 2 games are 55 and, you know, an hour and 5. Just getting slightly slower, slightly shorter each game. Getting arson. Yeah, I think Schnecky just took far too much damage in the early game and just never really got back into it. So he was essentially a non-entity. And then Noz is hard required to be on both sides as the only Civ that has mobile range unit. I think Humble Pie should have been in a decent position if he'd either built more barracks or started the Elephant Archer transition. Because having 20 Elephant Archers shooting over the back of 40 Helbs, you know, that's some extra damage that is impactful, right? I guess to be fair, he did get raided quite hard just as he was hitting Imp, which certainly slows down everything. But yeah, those are some entertaining games with some incredibly inventive strategies and ideas and game plans, specifically from Flight with his Saracen double sable scouts on Donut, and then the very, very fast Castle Age on Golden Lakes without going for a huge fish boom, which is a little bit of a non-standard way to play the game. Well, thank you all for watching this set. I hope you check out the next one.